Всі нові роки святкую, не тільки старий, а й новий, і Різдво Христове по-любому нормально святкую.
Юний орел, юний орел.
Peter, hey Cobb.
Hey, Brett.
Hey, what happens if you put your phone sideways? Oh, you don't go. Oh, there you go. That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I flip my screen. Shall I flip it so you can see the fire?
Yeah. Well, welcome to the Brett's with Friends, episode 141. Darryl, Cobb.
Hey.
So you're over near the Palisades fire.
Well, I can see it from here. I'm on the other side of the mountains. I'm in the Conejo Valley in the Agora Hills, right above Chesborough Canyon. I'm looking out over Chesborough towards the fire. Right now, the Getty Villa is on fire.
The Getty's on fire?
Yeah. And there's the house that I worked on is right in that neighborhood. That's $20 million house at least, if not more.
Hold the camera so we can see your face more.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We're just looking at your chin. When did you find out about the Getty? Just now?
My sister sent me a video. She's watching live streams of it, and
put some of that up.
And my doggies here. Why don't I face the camera with the fire in the background?
Wow.
You see all that?
Yeah. Oh. I can't hear you.
It's right next to Topanga, so it's heading up coast into Malibu. This could get intense overnight. What concerns me is, for some strange reason, whenever there's a huge fire like in Paradise, California, they put up K-rails and restrict the flow of traffic so that people burn in their cars. The K-rail PCH in 2017. People were stuck in their cars, could not go anywhere. They had to sit there and watch the fire come. So I hope they didn't do any stupid shit with K-rails and routing traffic back into the fire like they did in Maui as well. Can't understand any of that.
Didn't they?
I lived in Topanga Canyon and he's in the Santa Monica Mountains since the late 80s. And old school way of dealing with it. You understand that nobody's going to, you just know that. So you fill your trash cans with water. You put beach towels in it. You get your heavy Carhartt jacket on. You get some ski goggles on. You put a really good respirator on. And when the fire approaches the house, you go inside. You have all the windows closed. Hopefully you've cleared a perimeter of things under your eaves. But you go inside and have a wet blanket or sleeping bag that you crawl underneath to protect you from the heat. So if your house does catch fire, if it's a really windy one, typically it blows past relatively quickly. And then you go back outside, you avoid that thermal wave that's coming at you. You can get third-degree burns through your clothes from fire that's nowhere near you, just the radiant heat from it. I mean, it melts cars. It's not a joke. But I know several people that have lived in the mountains there for many, many years, and that's how you did it. You go inside, crawl under a wet blanket, go outside and beat the flames out with your wet towels because you know your water's going to be off and so is your power. So that's always been the drill if you live in the Santa Monica Mountains. But when you're talking about fires going through neighborhoods, that's a different game. I was looking at a welding job in Malibu Lake on a burn rebuild from 2017. It's like, dude, we're not welding today. This wind's gonna stop first. We're not smart. Nothing.
No, none of those.
Standing there at the early bird house, looking at this cloud heading away. It's part of living here. I mean, if you see behind me, it's just there. It's just along the ridge there. If you follow that ridge and drop down, I'm a couple of minutes from here, and that's all fuel. That's all just broken. It's just grass. It's not like thick brush and timber. It's not like you're going to get the same kind of radiant heat. But once houses start going up, you get that scary radiant heat where it's even diving under the wet blanket. Still, no, get the fuck out of the neighborhood. When the whole neighborhood's going up, you get the fuck out. You don't play with that.
So you said something earlier before we started podcasting about like every 80, this is kind of due for fires because there's a fire that has to happen every 80 years or something like that.
No, what I was mentioning, I think, was I did a flyover with a big air rescue fire department helicopter 30 years ago. They had banned brush burning. Usually in the wintertime, you cut your perimeter and you stack your brush and you burn it on a cloudy, wet day. They said, no, you can't do that anymore. So all the residents were looking for a solution. I was going to offer one in the form of a big tub grinder that would make mulch out of that shit. So in part of the scope of findings on how we could do that, we did a flyover down Old Topanga Canyon. And the fire department guy was saying that, and this was 30 years ago, he was saying this stuff hasn't burned in 70, 80 years. And there's a lot of houses up in there, a lot of bootleg little shanties up in there, not built to fire code. If the fire goes through there, people are probably going to die because the steepness of it, the density of the fuel. When I'm saying throw a wet blanket over you, I'm talking about a properly prepared perimeter in a rural setting that it's not a dense, you're 5 feet away from your neighbor's house. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a very different rural type of firefighting situation.
Yeah, you're not in a log cabin doing that because then you just
right.
Right. Just be like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna die. All this wet hair be here for a second.
But I don't know. I always sound like a conspiracy now. It's really the inherent stupidity that we see as evil. Just the dumb ways that people go about doing stuff, and just people die because people are stupid and indecisive, and that it riles me. It's like, where's the fucking adults in the room? Come on, we're smarter than this. Is this deliberately dumb? Are we trying to do this? I mean, really, I'm sure if you've read that Agenda 2020 or whichever agenda package they're rolling out for against our best interest.
But I don't need to read it. It's already bad. Everything about it is bad.
Well, anyway, it's about where people live. They want these 15-minute cities, and they don't want people living off grid and out in remote, beautiful areas. We want to all be jammed in the high Wi-Fi, high density, easy to manage, easy to police little people, chicken coops or whatever they have in mind.
People boxes.
People boxes, yeah. And most people are going to go, fuck that shit. I want to live where I want to live. Off grid, do whatever I want, So they're trying to round up the herd. They're got to spook the herd, get them to go into that chute and into the holding pen. What it all.
Don't go there. Don't go to the holding pen. Go to the holding pen.
It seems like that. It kind of seems like that. But no, I just think it's, good intentions with a bunch of dumbasses that don't know how to implement, because bureaucracies are like that, Anytime you get it an administrative thing, you hide behind that shit and you're just completely not culpable about any of it. Oh, well, I was following
we're living the upside down, man. Truth is fact or fiction and fiction is truth. And you say somebody's got potato for fucking hairspray and that really works in your hair good, and they go, oh, that does really work. It's potato salad, but they don't. They'll believe it. Are we? Am I wrong on this, or like nothing matters anymore?
It's
Everything's wrong.
definitely upside down land. A real healthy sense of humor is necessary because you just cry all the time otherwise. I mean, really, my sense of humor saved me out of some dark times across my life.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yep.
you gotta have that sense of humor for sure.
Oh God, irony and just being able to laugh at shit is
As you fucking
it's,
stand in
it's
front of a fucking fire, like it's happening across the horizon.
yeah. Well, it's funny, my sister sent me this forecast of the extreme winds, and my comment back was, "It's been a rather mild apocalypse this season, don't you think?"
It's just started. We got Tesla,
Fuck.
Trump building. They got fucking. It's a shit show. We're only 7 days deep.
I mean, in the 70s, I'm, in high school thinking, okay, this kind of shit's going to happen. I thought it was going to happen in my 20s and 30s. Okay. I didn't think this was going to go past age 40 for me. It just delayed a long time because of that ineptness that we were talking about. You
Yeah.
just get shit right. I'm sure they wanted to do it 20 or 30 years ago. They just had a bunch of dumbasses slowing the process down. But I thought it was going to be a lot gnarlier. And
We're 7 days into the 2025. This is if you want gnarly, don't say that. Don't poke the bear, man. It's like this is we. I'm already like going. Where does this go from here? The inauguration hasn't even happened. He's gonna do a rally on the 19th. I know I'm talking about Trump, but
yeah,
we're standing in front of this fire. It just is.
I know it's pretty ominous. It's far enough away where I can just sort of be calm about it and go about my business. But
That's how many miles away
in
from.
a couple hours, it might be on top. Oh, probably 25, something like that. I'm basically, let's see, if you followed a straight line there, that's Canaan Road,
Okay.
Malibu Canyon's kind of over here. You see that granite over
Yeah.
there? That's Malibu Canyon. And then farther over where you see the smoke, that's the Palisades.
So
Oops,
that
my
is
dog
all.
is running away.
Oh,
God damn it.
your dog.
Hey, come here. Come on, Chuck. My dog's running away.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's part of being the dog owner. She's scared of the wind, so I hope she doesn't run away.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Here's the monkey. Here's Chaka.
Oh yeah, yeah, Cha Cha. She's you know what you don't know what's going to be living around there in those areas. Oh,
Chaka. This is Chaka. She's my new puppy. She's 7 months old.
oh,
She's
congratulations!
a cross between a hyena and a Malinois and a honey badger. And she's awesome. And Mochi's my little sweet potato. Mochi's my yeah. So that keeps me sane. These are my antidepressants right here. These two.
I know. I can't wait to have dogs again at some point in my life.
Yeah, they make it good.
They make it good. They make it good. You guys,
She's gotten me 86 from a couple of grocery stores though.
why?
But bougie ass Air One. Well, Chaka likes to bark.
Oh,
Mochi was always cool in that store, but Chaka made some noise, so now we can't go there. And then she took a dump in Ralph's, so we can't go in Ralph's anymore.
not the first time, probably. Not the first time.
They did like her at Lassen's, the health food store in TO.
Oh,
Except there's some new C word person, this man that told me I can't have the dogs in the store anymore. And every single employee just loved me coming in there with my doggies.
oh, you saying this guy's a cunt?
I did. He's a cunt,
Okay, okay.
and
Just
he's
want to make sure we everybody knows exactly what bad word we're talking about.
oh yeah. I guess there's more than one bad C word. But yeah, the little shorty shopping carts that have a little bin underneath. Well, I get the two dogs, they're just sitting there like cute little well-behaved little critters. And I cruise around the store, and that way Choppa doesn't eat any of the low-hanging items off of the end caps. and worked well until the Mr. Cunt managership. Now I can't go there with my doggies. So
You know, you go with where it's more convenient, where you want.
Vaughn, Vaughn's likes my doggies. So Vaughn's
Well,
uh,
so
you
what?
like
What's any okay, I want to get back to you at one point. I want to talk to you about the election, but also just real quick, if you want to, if you will, because I know you got some really good ideas but or views, but like where's this fire at in its containment right now? How bad does this like you know it's like it's
I,
I mean I mean it's pretty, this has been for what, 24 hours.
check this out though. Fires make some pretty cool sunsets. You gotta smell the roses there too. But
Well, keep it on that sunset for a second. That's your I'll screenshot it. That'll be your
worse right now, it's the smoke's gotten thicker and darker as we've been talking. So it ain't over yet, but damn sight.
So, are there like I mean, aren't there back roads like how you have in like that area if it gets
Yes, if you have
people they escape from? Like, can't they go? They don't have to head towards the PCH. Can't they go the other direction? Or is that there is no other direction?
for the majority of the population, no, unfortunately, there's little or no options. If you had a dirt bike or an e-dirt bike, anything that you don't have to pedal, fuck yeah, you can get out of there quick style. There's all kinds of fire roads all throughout the Santa Monica Mountains, as well as trails that you can ride a two-wheeled vehicle on. I've got a 350 Kawasaki that's not running right now, but you know, the person that gave it to me, that's how they got around Malibu in the 2017 fires. Same person gave me two pumps that you throw a hose into a pool and you'll be blasting like 80 gallons a minute of water out of this fire hose.
Yeah.
So two of those things that were given to me. He had a family compound in Las Flores, so he has serious firefighting equipment there. But
This is nuts, dude. It's like every fucking year this happens over there.
it does, yeah. You know, California's a trip, man. I mean, it's all I know. I've lived in LA my entire life. Um, God, it's all I know. It's always expensive shit. I just paid $12 for the cheap eggs, right? The eggs that are usually $4.99. They were $12 today.
Where was that a local? Did you shop in local or did you go to Trader Joe's?
Local Vons. It's just the local Vons. It wasn't. I wasn't
Wait,
shopping
wait,
at
you just paid $12 for eggs?
$40 or something. Now, Air a burrito is $22.
Yeah, I just had some Jersey Mike's today, and I got the giant, and that was 19. But I shared that with some friends. So everything's more expensive. But so this is just, I know I love California. I grew up there too, in San Jose and all that. But like this, how does this happen? Like where they don't see the fire fast enough to catch it?
Oh, weather conditions, all sorts of things. Um, you know, some of the stuff. Okay, and this sounds out there, but you know, I'm full of stuff like that. Okay,
Laser beam?
engineering. Okay, the chemtrail spraying. What is in that shit? Oh, three metals. Okay, nano metallic particles of aluminum, strontium, and barium. That's a really good desiccant. That dries the fuck out of plant material. Also makes the soil hydrophobic. Okay, so water doesn't percolate properly into the soil. And it's got all this metal all over it, nano particles of aluminum and strontium and barium. How do I know this? Well, I am a water conditioning contractor and I work on wells. And I send water samples to a laboratory. They do a complete assay of everything, periodic table, if you want. And they'll tell you everything that's in the water. So asked my guy, who's been doing this for 40 some odd years, hey, you noticed elevated levels of strontium, barium, and aluminum in surface water samples. After a pause, he says, yes, disturbingly high amounts across the country since the 90s. Yeah, that's when I started noticing stuff myself back in the 90s. Hey, those aren't regular condensation trails. What's going on up there? So, yeah, that stuff is part of this. It makes the fuel drier. When we do get rain, the soil really doesn't absorb it quite well. Those metals are, um, forestry guys will tell you a lot about this because they're seeing it firsthand. People that are consultants for timber companies. Okay, they have investments up there. That matters to their bottom line and to their shareholders. So they give a fuck about what's going on in the atmosphere and in the soil because it's their livelihood. So,
So
yeah,
we're
it
just
was actually
so basically we're just doomed as a species then.
fuck no. I'll tell you what. Without we get zero evolution. We'll become these sort of soft little blobs that lead these very uneventful lives that are very safe and very, very certain. Nothing weird will happen. You've got everything the same. It's equal for everyone. There's no competition. There's nothing like that. It's all just one squishy, warm blob. Okay. That doesn't sound too exciting. I get pretty fucking bored myself.
Oh yeah, there's
So
no room for creativity.
apparently,
Like when you
yeah.
say it like that, there's
So look
creative.
at well, the raw law of one, RA law of one. There's 4 books with some channeled material from back in the 80s. Pretty consistent. A lot of people are like, yeah, the raw material makes sense. So you can get all 107 readings online. I like Maffy Moose, Maffymose, and that's the entirety of that channeled material. But what Ra, who's a collective consciousness of a highly advanced group, if you will, that's what it calls itself. It explains the mechanical function of things that we consider bad. You wouldn't get any work. It's like you need a negative and a positive to have an electrical circuit. And I think in life forms, if you don't have a few cataclysms and stressful events here and there, and a bad guy that comes and takes your shit once in a while, you remain soft little blobs. So I think that the bad guys that are running around are part of this playground. Okay. Those characters are somehow necessary to keep this game exciting, to create passion. Okay. So what's the other factor in the observer effect? The whole Heisenberg thing. The observer effect. What the currency of it, the real payload of it, is emotion. It's emotional energy. Thought alone is that soft, warm blob I was talking about. What generates this intense emotional energy, this passion, this drive? You got to have that little negative in there, swirling around with the white. It's that yin yang symbol.
Yeah,
It's
friction.
fucking necessary. It's there for a reason.
You need the friction to light the match.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've had some past life recall doing holotropic breathing shit and some other using an e-meter. It wasn't Dianetics, that stupid bullshit, but some ex-Scientologists using e-meters and cool
I know.
shit.
I went through that Scientology building.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I did half the
Wow.
com.
That was
17
wild.
old and was like, oh, you guys are dicks. It's
It
just
was a
big.
trip. It was a trip. I went in there with a group of friends, and it was like, you see this guy's portrait when you walk through the skinny little stairwell up there, and his teeth are all fucked up looking, and everything. He's dressed in white
Yeah.
with a cap.
I didn't go
Look at
entirely.
his teeth. Next time you see him, maybe I'll put a picture of his teeth up. But man, he was gnarly for being a cult leader.
Oh yeah, well, Ron Hubbard was naval intelligence. I mean, just a real venomous fucking sociopath, man. That fucking guy, real smart too. Great plagiarist.
What do you
Everything
get? Is it sort of like a?
he
Would you
stole
say?
every bit of that shit. Every bit of that shit's plagiarized and stolen. Jack Goldberg, also known as Werner Erhart, the guy that brought us them EST seminars. Remember that shit? And all the spin-offs like Life Spring and all that. what this is, it's applied tactics in the milder sense that naval intelligence has developed over the years. Okay, so going back to British Navy, we went around fucking over the world. Okay, Romans too, and they realized that, god damn, just sending an army just pisses people off. We got to crawl inside their heads, right? So, um, sorry, I'm branching off on my thought train here.
No, train, choo 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 choo.
Yeah. Anyways, I get ahead of myself and stumble.
Well, but you're reminding reminding me this is like maybe precursors to what we're dealing with now with Trump and Musk and
yeah,
Zuckerberg. This is the same sort of you're describing
fucking hell
that they're doing that it's like been what 30 40 years later and now look where we're at.
Okay, look at the clip of what Elon's kid said today. The space, we're going to make the space tax and we're going to do whatever we want. Okay. In the law of one, okay, it talks about karmic law and how to avoid that shit. If you disclose what you intend to do to your victims, if you're a predator, you disclose to them what you plan on doing to them, and then you go do that thing, it's almost like they gave you permission karmically. And so that's how a lot of these laws work. If you indirectly tell people what you're doing through predictive programming, through movies, and we'll all go, that's a movie, right? They wouldn't really do that, would they? So that's fair warning. Okay, it's right in front of us, and it's our duty to see the fuckery and stop it.
Where are your dogs at?
Underfoot here.
Okay, just a second, making sure you don't leave without them.
Anyway, yeah, I don't trust any fucking buddy.
But okay, so you're talking about predictive programming. Could you give me a recent example of that? Because we just had Nosferatu be our Christmas movie of the year. That's what. So did that is that like a
the time? The Pope releasing the portal and the 5 demons. Look into that shit. The Pope there's some ritual that he did that had to do with releasing demons. I'm not exactly sure. I just caught a short little bit of it.
Where'd you catch this short little bit of it at?
I don't know. It's sort of like a blur, all the different, sources and images. Fuck. I'll try and find a clip of it and send it to you.
Okay, we'll put it in. You can do it. I'm gonna edit this right after we get
off.
Yeah,
so check it out. There's some shit that
this isn't like Q. You're not. I say this all my respect and love. This isn't QAnon stuff you're talking about.
I don't even know what QAnon is. I've never followed them. Okay, yeah, you've seen. Okay, I go back to printed, home published underground shit. Okay, the Cobb brothers, where they got their inspiration was from John, also known as Valdemar Valerian. Look that motherfucker up and look up Matrix series books. It's a very large, heavy pile of documents.
Well, they actually, not to cut you off, but I will, but like that, those Wachowski brothers, they ripped that off from somebody who pitched them that script, and they rewrote it and used her.
Right, but whoever
they got sued from that. She's the one who wrote that book. There's a girl that wrote that book or that script originally. They sued.
Oh, good. No,
she made like $250 million from that. No, it's stuffed under.
Oh, good. Well, I had heard anyway that the Wachowski brothers were influenced by Val Valerian, and that perhaps the writer of the screenplay was as well. But if you dig into Val Valerian's stuff, this goes way back to the 80s. I mean, this isn't some fucking 30-second TikTok vid with some random dude talking shit. This is like, good God, if I showed you the stack of the Matrix books, fuck, like Matrix 3, the subtitle is The Psychosocial and Technological Manipulation of Human Consciousness. The table of contents.
Do you think we're being set up for a false alien invasion?
Oh, undoubtedly. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, dude.
How about if it was real?
I think they're probably locals that we haven't met yet. I think a lot of the shit flying around is from here. I think that there's places on the planet we don't know about. Um, this can get into flat Earth stuff and all kinds of wacky stuff, but I've kind of did a little background on Copernicus and some of the precursors, and there's fuckery everywhere, and it's great because I look at all this as plausible science fiction. I know for a fact nobody will take me seriously. My closest family members think I'm insane. So I have zero influence on anybody. I'm a zero influencer. I'm a negative influencer. Like nobody takes it. Like if I show up, whatever the topic was, just like is no longer taken seriously. So I don't think anything I say will hit anybody's ears as a manner of anything other than musings and entertainment. And that's all I sincerely want to deliver is a perspective that's like, you know what? My problems are relatively manageable.
Yeah, well,
And I don't know what the
attitude.
fuck's going on. I don't try to pretend to. I just call out patterns as I see them. And I try
So,
to
can you tell us?
muse on that shit and get inspired. And if I can do something creative out of all of it, then fuck yeah. But I know that this place isn't supposed to be some smooth, easy thing with guaranteed results. It's a fucking shit show with a lot of variables. And I think that if we learn how to harness our emotions and remember who and what we are, that we're gods in drag as these stupid little primates. Okay. I mean, fuck, man. Okay. Like you look at Paul's letters, that motherfucker, original sin, all that, just like the exact opposite of what the Essenes were about. So from day one, it's always been this march to conform and repress and suppress the godlike being.
Christianity's like that a little bit.
What now?
Christianity.
Not even Christianity, just yeah, it got co-opted, definitely. It got turned into something basically the opposite of where it was starting from. And
But look what it does to people like religion and stuff like that. Look at what Russell Brand has become, for God's sakes.
oh well, he got his butt tore up at Diddy House, just like everybody. Every fucking celebrity and politician you see either stuck their dick in a kid or got a big old schlong up in them on tape. On tape. Did I ever tell you about Larry Flint's tape of Ronald Reagan?
No.
Okay, the Granada Forum used to be a group that met way back in the 80s. So like way early in the Clinton administration, I was going to these meetings and there was like far lefties and far righties like, bro, we're getting fucked. Yeah, we know. We differ a little bit, but not that much. Okay, that's where it was. And then the Tea Party Republicans co-opted the righties and fucked that whole thing. And like, those guys are your enemies, just like, poor white people and the blacks got together shortly after the Civil War, was like, hey, we know who's fucking us over. So we sick people on each other. Oh my god.
Wait. Back up for a second. You're talking about the P Diddy and like the Ronald Reagan movie where he's getting laid or
okay,
something.
let me back up. Okay.
Did you ever see this video of
Okay.
Reagan having sex?
This was told to me by this very Boy Scout fucking, clean handkerchief and tucked in shirt. Like he was like a Mormon. I mean, he was the cleanest cut white dude I ever met.
Yeah.
He's talking about his lawyer. And what he had was a table at the Granada Forum meetings with literature, and these are VHS videos on different conspiracy shit and just fuckery that's going on around the world. And these are documentaries, independent documentaries. So this guy says, my boss got invited to a screening held by Larry Flint. And this was back when Larry Flint was running for president. And he realized that it was a joke, but he'd never be taken seriously. But
look where we're at today. That's not that far-fetched. That's completely not that far-fetched.
But anyways, Ronald Reagan's security video was the following. It was a straight of age prostitute girl that he was fucking, and it was definitely Reagan. And she came out with a big old fucking Doc Johnson dildo and reamed his pipes. and that this tape had full audio and it was unmistakable. This is the 80s, man. This is like probably late 70s. They didn't have fucking Flame and Avid and all this digital editing shit. Okay. You either cut it on tape or you didn't.
Well, and
They weren't that.
also, okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Anyway, so this tape shows Ronald Reagan taking it up the ass. The girl's delivering the goods. Okay. And this was a VHS tape that Larry Flint allegedly showed a group of people. So this guy, why would he make that up? I got no reason to suspect he would just make that shit up. And what he was saying was that most politicians have videotapes of them doing naughty things because it's an insurance policy. Okay. They don't want anybody thinking, hey, I'm the president and I'll do what I see is right. You're not going to be in office very long. You're going to get wagged the dogged. Okay. So you get somebody on tape doing something deplorable, they're going to do what you tell them to do. That's what that's about. All these tapes, if you're an influential person, whether you're a singer or whatever the fuck you do, you got dumbass people that'll stare at you and listen to you. Okay? It's like a hypnotic effect. Oh, you're a celebrity. I'll surrender all my power and consider you greater than I. Why do we do that? God damn, we're stupid. So they want to control.
It seems like those people would know. It seems like those people would know, like with like Rudy Giuliani doing the Borat thing. That what do you think he was touching his dick in that? Do you think he would have just went for it if Borat had cut it off?
I have zero clue. I think that it's all a big sick joke. That
Borat's on.
Like said it's one little club and you ain't in it. Yeah. You got a little club and you ain't in it. And how you get in is you got to pull your pants down and stick your fanny out and take it. And then you're in the club. That's the Diddy thing. But this is old. This has gone on for a long time.
So there's Epstein and they have everything on him, but they haven't said shit about him. And then they've got everything on Diddy, but there's no names or anything like that either. Ghislaine Maxwell's in fucking prison, and hopefully she stays alive. But like there's no information being released. We know more about the guy who
that man.
We know more about that guy who shot that CEO than we do of the guy that shot at Trump.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Well, I don't know. I think that it just shows a great deal of contempt for the general public. It's like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? That's what they're doing now. It's right in our face. It's right.
Really, I believe what you're saying. I mean, It seems like it's like sort of a playbook that is being. It's like whereas reality TV and politics are now one, and now it's like with the internet, everything's sort of like on a geopolitical global stage in a very now time space. But people are having conflicts like this that we're having here with the right, far right things in other areas of the planet as well. So this is a global thing.
Oh, for sure. We just got the the best produced version.
Yeah, this is the Kardashian version.
We just have better production quality of our shit show than the rest of the world.
Ivanka Trump went on the fucking Lexman, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but she had said something. Lex Friedman or something like that. That guy. Ivanka Trump went on there like a while back. I didn't watch it, but she said that she listened to Alan Watts before she went to bed every night. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense considering what she's. Do you think somebody who's a conscientious person would? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. That somebody who's listening to Alan Watts every night would be complicit in all this complete. I guess money.
Why not? Why not? I mean, I think there's very
taking the value.
Enlightened people that are also capable of really horrifying, fucked up stuff.
So they're horrifyingly conscious, or they do.
I don't know how they.
Conscious, they know right from wrong, but they don't care. But it doesn't seem conscientious.
Do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, and do what excites you within your integrity. What Darryl Anka said. I run into him at grocery store once in a while. Hey, Darryl, remember me? um, yeah, do what excites you within your integrity. So whatever your integrity dictates, and you look at the law of one, and what's just, what's fair, what's evil. It's a gray area for a lot of people is the best way I could try to get my head around it. I mean, wrong is wrong. We both understand that. And I try to zoom out and get a long game perspective because our short-term perspectives are predicated by our survival needs. And we don't have a lot of objectivity. And a lot of what we say is really bad stuff moves humanity in a direction that vastly improves us. So sometimes the punch you took led to something great.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind too, because right now I have very little control over what's going on outside of me. What I do have control over is how I think about it and how I hold my shit together around it,
Yeah, that's my mantra for the year. That's kind of coming up to my brain is I'm going to take care of things I have control over, and less and pay attention to less stuff that I have no control over, because I can focus on myself and get in better shape and do all these create better art and keep on but those are the things that I can take care of.
Yes, precisely. The things that it's like the serenity prayer. Change the things you can. Dude, I got 40 years this year.
Oh, serenity, what's that?
Serenity, what's that? The serenity prayer.
You mean sobriety?
Sober. I haven't had a drop of alcohol in 40 years.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Maybe I should give up alcohol and smoking and all this stuff.
I don't know. I mean, nicotine's in a lot of our foods, and nicotine is a real assistant in our immune system, but it just so happens that smoking it isn't the best delivery route.
Yeah,
so
I do like smoking though.
Don't vilify nicotine too much. I've smoked for years and years. I haven't smoked in 15 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But
So where do you if you seeing the pat like if you're hey you have some interesting are you gonna eat soon? Should I let you go?
oh, I just fed the dogs. I was going to show you.
The
Let me turn
mermaid?
something on. I wanted to show you.
Oh, that mermaid. Oh, that poor mermaid. Oh, it was so
Not,
close.
not the mermaid. These two geodes. These amethyst geodes right here.
Ooh,
So
gorgeous.
these are like 250 and 280 pounds, and this is 200 pounds right here. This quartz piece. This is church right here, man. Look at this. These are 5 feet tall, these two geodes. And I'm going to redo the base under the quartz. But I just love that display there.
So are you owning those? Or are you the proprietor of those?
No. My buddy opened a new store. These got shuttled from a warehouse and weren't supposed to go to that location. And I'm just storing them for a minute.
But you also made you created the bases for them to go on.
Yeah.
Can you show us how that works? Can you describe that a little bit? Like that, like it obviously has. Did you do some physics on the weight that counterbalance the rock?
Yeah, it was a tricky learning
How do you
curve.
figure that out?
Well, go on my Instagram. I've got a bunch of videos of me.
What's your Instagram?
Darryl.cobb.98.
There you go.
I think that last time I checked. But I'm on there. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff over the years, like really amazing stuff that I got to do. There's one that I did recently. The lighting probably isn't good. Can't really see, but it's this jet black. Yeah, the lighting's terrible, but it's got pyrite growing on it right here. It is a really stunning piece. That's on my Insta. So
so how do you approach a project like that? Because now you've done more than a dozen.
What I do is you have to have a reference point of the center of gravity on the piece. And it's just over time you get an eye for it and you can look at something and understand the physics of it, just eyeballing it. You get a feel for it.
Like how much does that rock?
So,
How much does one of those rocks weigh?
well, I gave you examples just there, but that
Like
black
yeah,
one there, probably 170, 180 pounds.
just the rock alone.
Yeah. So what I do is I have a right angle. I have a 90-degree angle. It's a block of wood. So what I do is I set the stone on it, and then I can find the center. Where's the very apex in the center of the piece, and how's it going to balance and look best? I want it to look balanced. So this frame is basically a reference point, and then I
I can
look.
see. I can see the. I can see only your hand.
Oh,
There you
yeah. It's a tricky process. It's all on my Insta. There's like a dozen different ones that I've done on there. But yeah, you got to just find a reference point. You make a 90-degree square out of a lumber is what I use. You lay the piece on it and you shim it up accordingly. If it's laying at a weird angle, you adjust the thing, and then you find a perfect position where it's centered, and then you simply do a layout, and you're going to have a steel piece that holds the thing up. So that has to be consistent with that central axis so that it's balanced.
And you're not drilling into the rock to hold it in position, are you?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you gonna drill? Do you drill into the rock to hold into position, or is it is it more like a diamond ring where you put
It's
like
like stone setting. It's a very large engagement ring setting. You see the prongs?
yeah?
That's what you do. You find a facet and you land a prong on it. That's basically what you do.
And how heavy is that base got to be to support that?
It's not so much about weight as it is about the overturning. So you can have flat plate underneath it that doesn't weigh a hell of a lot. It's just a wide enough footprint so it doesn't topple.
Oh, there you go. There's the key right there. That's the
Because some of the heavier pieces, their own mass, as long as you have them balanced on the center, its own mass holds it in place, like some of the balancing rocks in Utah.
yeah. You
Like,
can't. You don't. Or you go back like a year later. It's the things like this.
right.
You don't want to see that.
No, that wouldn't be good. Yeah, you don't want a 200-pound stone falling on a person in a public space. That wouldn't be good for business.
No, it's not good. No, it's not good for business.
Yeah. So anyway, that's news, weather, and sports.
That's exciting.
Yeah, got fire footage and dog coverage and
What's
things and music.
any predictions for 2025 about the Trump stuff? What do you think? This is Buster, by the way. This is Buster. Hey, say hi, Buster.
You
Buster.
Buster. Shit, I
Well,
don't know. Hope for the best. That's all I can say.
I
Got a sense of humor and lots of new work opportunities coming up. I landed a contract with an international construction company that no longer wants to buy pallets of bottled water. So what I'm doing is setting up like it's a stainless steel counter, and it'll have dispensing fixtures for 5-gallon jugs. So all these hard hats are going to go and fill their 5-gallon coolers with nice, clean, purified raw water that I provide. And they build airports and things across the planet. So hopefully they're going to have a fuck ton more work because they got just one project. They're widening the 105. So we'll start with that one. And I'm sure they'll use me on a bunch more because I did the math on how much they could spend for a 200-man crew on pallets of bottled water. It's like, oh yeah, they'd be more than happy to buy my thing.
yeah.
So,
When do you think we'll see robots on the streets as patrolling the streets?
patrolling. Well, you see food delivery little coolers self-propelled down the sidewalk. That's pretty weird, especially in Santa Monica. It just
Little
cool.
R2 unit.
Just walk up and jack the thing. I don't know that they have locks on it. It just seems like somebody could take the
When do you
food
think
right
we'll
out of
see robots in warfare situation? The
it.
ground.
Shit, we already have them, I'm sure. I'm ready for them little DARPA dogs to come over the hill and hit them with my mass coronal ejection uh, decoder ring.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hit him with an EMP. Fry the wiring.
Okay, well, I'll let you go.
I
I
think-
know you probably want to go get your life back. But
yeah.
any last words at all about the future? We're living in the future now. What the hell are we doing in 2025? I mean, any last comments as we go into this crazy thing?
God, I don't know. Have a sense of humor. And if anybody knows where I can get like a jetpack, like Jetsons shit, man, I would like. Come on, I thought I was going to have that a long time ago. I saw
Yeah.
somebody flying on a jetpack at Disneyland when I was 4.
Yeah.
I want one of those ever since. So
Well, that's the thing. Like it's like the Phoebe Cates thing at Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It blew our minds, and we never got it.
nope.
You know, we got to we got to see what perfection looks like, and then it's like, oh, well, you're not going to get that. We're going
No,
to fucking Trump 2.0 instead.
no,
So we survived the last we've survived every president so far.
right.
We can survive this president, right?
Inevitably, yeah, sure. He's going to die like anybody else. He has a finite lifespan. He's not going to exist forever. Some other.
Elon might put a microchip in his brain or something. It'd be like a.
Why is that South African got so much influence here? He
He's the
didn't.
most, he bought the presidency. He bought the president. He bought the United States. Cost him only $250 million.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it. Yeah, he wants to put in all our heads, and I don't appreciate it.
Did you like Elon before he was an asshole?
Nope, I never liked him. Who the fuck's this autistic guy? Don't know him.
What do you think about people that drive Tesla trucks?
What?
What do you think about people that drive Tesla trucks? Like, do they? There's this one meeting that all. I trust me. I bought this truck before I knew he was an asshole. I didn't mean to. Like,
just uninformed, and we believe what we're told.
do you like
My best.
Do you like the way the Tesla truck looks?
No. No, I like old Chevy and Ford pickups from the 70s and 80s. That's what I like.
Well,
Icon classics, they build the sickest shit. There's a 65 crew cab. It's a Ford, and they got a big ass Cummins in there. It's like a $300,000 rig with this 1965 pickup truck body dropped on there.
I always like my stepdad that I grew up with had an Impala that sat in the parking lot for our parking our thing. But the things the hinges on the doors were like as thick as they were like 4 feet thick. It seemed like when you open it up, it's like it was like this giant beast of steel.
Well, stuff is deliberately made as garbage now. It has a very short lifespan. It fails miserably. It's way overpriced. For me to pay, 80 grand for a Sprinter, that's a fucking joke. I'll take an old ass vehicle and rebuild it. Give me like an old
There.
give me an old step van and I'll rebuild that and make a way better vehicle out of
Invest
it.
like even a quarter of the money and make it totally super fucking dope.
Well, like 2 of my contractor buddies that bought Dodge trucks during the pandemic. What a joke. What a joke. They both went immediately back because the transmission failed under 100,000 miles. Catastrophic failure of the transmission. Year-long wait. So, here's another piece of shit you can drive until we get you your original piece of shit. Those trucks, they have regularly serviceable parts that they buried so deep that the amount of hours in labor to get to them, to change them, it's cheaper to remove the entire cab off the chassis to get to it. So imagine that. You've got a regularly serviceable part and you made it cost thousands of dollars to get to. That's sabotage. That's what engineers are doing on behalf of the shareholders.
Oh, so they do that
See,
shit on purpose? Because there's like
what? Yeah,
I had a
yes,
Hyundai, and this thing went out in the back, this bottom like metal tube that goes along the back flat of engine. You know, if the car is this way, it's flat on the back. So you have to take the whole engine out to get to this like matrix of wires. That's the only way you can
yep,
do it. But the part costs what, 35 bucks? I don't know, 100.
yeah,
It's like, but
yeah.
so they do that all on purpose, you think?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
What kind of fuckery is this? Have you
We
seen that?
must we must generate earnings for our shareholders, and I want a bonus. That's what that is. You have a CEO that's not going to be in that company more than 5 years. They got a parachute plan. They don't plan on sticking around when the damage really becomes apparent. So if you want to continually generate earnings for shareholders, you have to cannibalize the integrity of your product. You have to make it cheaper and shittier, or you have to cut the pay of your employees. That money has to come from somewhere. You got to cannibalize something in order to deliver earnings for
It's
shareholders.
like the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, yeah, you have to just keep kicking it down the road in perpetuity. And you can't ever solve anything in a permanent way. That's your business. You want to keep doing that thing. You don't want to have to retool. You want to keep selling that same thing.
You're talking about like similarly to the hospital industry.
Oh, I'll go. We don't have
But
enough
we
time.
don't go there. We don't go.
No, there is deliberate evil going on. It's all the dumbness too, all the banality of it. But oh, I can't get going on that.
No,
That's
no.
I'm gonna open up a can of worms.
Okay,
Yeah, we could do another episode on my.
we'll do another episode. Okay.
It'll
So
probably get us both in trouble, I'm sure.
no one. This is just for me and you. Oh, hopefully, and the
All right.
motley crew of the Brats with Friends, people that I have 169 subscribers.
Yeah. Hey, I'm lucky to get 3 likes on a comment. So I have zero.
How many subscribers do I? I have something like that. Maybe it's no. It's like I think I can't wait for that 200. That'll be sweet, sweet 200 when the robots are running in the streets and after people. So predictive programming. Did we cover? I feel like I'm leaving. We'll just enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for doing this. The Palisades fires look like fucking nuts.
Yeah, I gotta watch devastation footage now, but otherwise, hey, we're this is like it's more like a Coachella apocalypse. I thought it was going to be a lot more wailing and gnashing of teeth. This is more like just a really shitty Burning Man, pretty much. With a bunch of dork ass. Like, who invited? Oh God, Burning Man shit. They're letting anybody in now.
Well, it's funny because the people that like, do you know people that are rich that were born rich that are I know this is a double. I know really cool people that are rich, but I also know people that were born rich, like silver spoon babies, and they seem to be a different breed.
Well, they dine on the bread of shame because they don't generate any of that prosperity. They are excellent consumers. So if there was an award show for the most gluttonous consumers, you'd have the Sultan of Brunei and other pigs like that, like waste the resources of their people. And they gloat about it like some, Nigerian prince or some shit. No offense to Nigeria. I'm sure there's awesome people there.
I love
But
their emails and their telephone calls are amazing.
but I'm sure that our corruption vastly exceeds the third world style. It's more laughable because we can look down on them like, oh, those shitty little people, they did corrupt things. And we got real slick corruption here where you have your child telling the public what you intend to do with them in the future. That's some despicable stuff. My
Last
earlier
bit.
about
Oh,
Elon,
continue. I'm sorry.
the space tax, and we're going to do whatever we want.
SpaceX.
We were talking about Elon in the
Yeah, I
comment.
know. I remember that. I was just repeating it. But I
Yeah.
guess the space tax, the kid, the Baron Trump, the whole thing looks like a fucking. But
It's a great.
is this entertainment? Are you not entertained? Like, is this what people are providing? Like, this is like
Oh, Rick and Morty can't
silly.
even keep up. I mean, this is great. We got to start. We need more writers and more animators desperately because there's some great content out there, bro. We got to work on the material is everywhere. It's oozing in the streets, man. There's so much comedy and so much things to observe and ridicule and call out. We need writers and animators now.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride. AI, quantum computing. Yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting. Like, yeah. Well, may you live in interesting times. I guess maybe we should leave it at
We
that.
do. It's not boring. Not boring at all.
Oh, wait, Matt Gates. Any thoughts?
Who?
Matt Gates. Any thoughts?
None. Don't even know who he is. Oh, I vaguely see a pompadour. Some guy looks like a car salesman. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
That guy. Oh yeah, douche buggery. I no one glance like, oh hell no, don't want.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, may you live in interesting times. I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk about the mermaid. We'll do another episode. Thanks for
Yeah,
being my on my first show of the new year. You're the
right.
yes.
Well, glad to be on board, Brett. Finally got me one day here.
Yeah. Well, stay warm and stay safe, and hopefully that fire doesn't come over to you. And but you got your wet blankets just in case it does, I guess.
No, I got fire pumps and neighbors with pools.
Yeah.
I have,
I heard Will Smith lives on the top of the mountain right there, and he's got like water reserves that people use the helicopters. You go and did you tell me about that? You know
don't-
about that? Well, they have reserves of water on mountains high up on the area in the higher. I don't know
yeah, and they
where they
fly
take the water out of.
with the Sikorsky's and they suck up water.
Is that what they are?
Yeah, where the fire's burning right now. There was one of the fires over the years, probably 15 years ago, and we were doing the roof on that house right next to the old Getty, and there were water scoopers dive bombing just a tiny bit above the roof, following the ridge line down, swooping down right there in front of Thelma Todd's place, right there, Gladstone's right there, and scooping water and then turning around and flying right back over. And we could see the pilots, and we're like, yeah, throwing up a shotgun. The pilots, like, yeah.
Those
God.
hills.
I hope that.
Someone's gonna have to do a documentary on that whole hill area because that's where Kobe died. Those were like that whole like mountainous terrain from like Santa Monica to Malibu to Agora Hills and all that stuff is a whole such a little wild west of geography.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are you getting any mountain lions or like I'll let you go, but I'm stick and squeeze. How's the wildlife over there?
Lake, West Lake, right near my mother-in-law's house. In the driveway, big cat.
What happened? A big cat?
Big mountain lion in somebody's driveway on the camera. Because a couple miles from here. I mean, there's mountains all over the place. You just never see them. They wander my neighborhood.
Can humans and animals like that coexist?
We do every day.
Every once in a while, one gets taken out, though.
Unfortunately, but my neighbors are the ones building that bridge over the 101. By the way, the Rasmussens. They live right behind me. Their property is 90 acres. Where I was showing you Chesborough Canyon. I could have pointed it out, but it's the top of the ridge there. They built this neighborhood.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. It's a natural bridge for animals to walk over, right?
There's nothing natural about it. It's a multi-million-dollar
Bridge.
engineering feat. There's a flying bridge. The one over the freeway was easy. The bridge that's going to fly over Agora Road and over these oak trees and work as a ramp, that's going to be something to watch. That's going to take longer than what they did over the freeway. So,
well, that's great. So we're working in harmony with nature. 2025 is looking really good. Everything's great. Focus on yourself. Say creativity, animation.
eat tacos and have a sense of humor.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
I'll let you go. Tell everybody to say hi. I'll be traveling through there at some point. And
Good.
Stay safe, buddy. Thanks for
All right.
hanging out.
Yeah, we'll talk. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
that was great. That was great.
That was fun. Bye now.
Darryl Cobb, everybody. Yeah. Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Episode 141. Out the door, brettwoods.com. Buy my art. Hire me to make a movie. Subscribe, like, share. Stay safe out there. I'm gonna turn this off. Have I been recording the whole time? Hopefully. All right. Yeah. First episode of the year. Okay, end it right now.
Friends with friends, friends with friends, friends with friends, it's never going to.
Всі нові роки святкую, не тільки старий, а й новий, і Різдво Христове по-любому нормально святкую.
Юний орел, юний орел.
Peter, wake up.